Alright, last but not least, we move on from the rotation tool to the scale tool. So we're going to click on this and once again take notice of how the gizmo changes now that we have switched over to the scale tool. Just like before, we also have the ability to view our X, Y, and Z values at the bottom of the screen. And the first thing I ask you to do this time around is to just hover over the yellow triangle and drag up and down and see what happens. And as we do this, we see at the bottom of the screen our X, Y, and Z values change, and they all change at the same time. Now, if we go down here, we are able to edit the X value, but not either of the two Y and Z values. We ask ourselves, well, why would we want it like this? Why would we want it to scale in all three directions at the same time? Well, I can answer that question for you. Because while initially it looks like we can pretty much only scale all three at the same time, if you hover over any of them in particular, for example, you can see if we hover over X, the X arm of the gizmo lights up. Likewise with Z and Y. If we click and drag only one of these, and you kind of have to go out of your way to do this, things can get really weird, right? And maybe we want it to get weird, but this tool assumes that we do not want it to get weird. So let's go back and change that to 100%. And I just gave you the answer to another one of the questions on the lab. So the scale tool, pretty straightforward, allows us to change the size of our object by clicking and dragging. But I'm going to scale that back to 100 there. I mentioned this in one of the first videos, but it's also mentioned in the lab at this point. To finish out this section is to recommend experimenting one more time with naming your object as well as clicking on the little colored square to assign a different color to your 3D object. So there you have it, the three transformation tools, the main transformation tools that are available to you in 3ds Max, and that concludes part 2 of the lab. Thanks for watching.